Hi, my name is Todd Berzer at Evolve Product Management. This is the 3-Minute Product Manager and our discussion on finding growth for in-market products. So finding growth through the product lifecycle is a fundamental role for product managers and product marketing. And here we're talking about sales, profit, and market share growth. And what we find is that many companies have high growth potential for their current products and services, but it's often an area that's overlooked and it's underfocused. Let's start this discussion by thinking about the product life cycle. So on the x-axis, we have time. On the y-axis, we have market demand. And typically, you start off with low market demand, you move into some growth phases, and at some point, growth tapers off, you enter a more mature market, and eventually a declining market. And your growth strategies vary through the product life cycle. So typically, in the early, rapid, and late growth phases, you want to focus on offense. You want to invest for growth and share. And in the more maturing markets, you want to focus on defense. So typically you want to protect your share and manage your profitability. So let's think about those strategies. Let's start with offense. Here we're going to start with, there's 3 different categories here. We've got grow share. You can grow the market. You can enter new markets. And if we go to defense, you can think about protecting your share, maximizing your profits, or potentially at some point harvesting and exiting. Start with offense. We're going to dig into these. So we start with the first strategy, growing share. And here we're talking about getting a bigger slice of the pie. So we're talking about raising awareness. You can add differentiating features to do this. You can lower your pricing. You can add new sales channels to expand your distribution, and you can have a direct attack on your competitors. You can also grow the market, and this is really, we're talking about a bigger pie. So you can expand overall market demand, you can move into new countries, new geographies, you can increase your revenue per customer, you can target closely related market segments, and you can promote new uses of your product. And then we can think about entering new markets. So here we're talking about not just a bigger slice of the pie or a bigger pie, but a new pie. And often when you're in a market, you can see opportunities in an adjacent or underserved market that will give you some growth. Now, let's go to defense. Again, these are in the more mature phases of a product life cycle. Here, typically, you want to protect your share, and to do that, you can do this by retaining your customers with loyalty programs. You can close any feature gaps that might be causing share erosion to competitors. You can enhance purchase convenience, making it easier for your customers to purchase your products. And you can add channel sales incentives to encourage your channels to do what you want them to do. And then you can maximize profits as a second strategy. And here we're talking about in the mature phases of a product life cycle. What happens is that you have fewer customers to acquire, so you can reduce your expenses to acquiring new customers, and you can focus on retaining current customers. And typically, you can lower your marketing and sales expenses as you do that and increase your profitability. And then we go to harvest and exit. So here, the strategy here is to raise your prices over time, reducing your marketing investments, and you will lose some of your more price-sensitive customers as you do this, but you will retain your more profitable customers. And eventually, at some point, you may decide to divest and exit the market. Defensive strategies and offensive strategies. Now, we want you to put this together. I'm going to recommend you put this together in some kind of growth plan. And the purpose of this growth plan is to identify growth opportunities for in-market products and services. You'll want to do this yearly or potentially every 6 months. And your deliverable here is really growth recommendations for your worldwide and regional market development teams and your sales teams. And the content should look something like what we've got on the right. So you start off with market size and trends, target customers and needs, your competition, your market share, what stage you're at in the product life cycle. Then you go to your strategy, talk about your value proposition, your competitive differentiation. Take a look at your sales channels. Is your sales channels that you're using, are they doing what you want them to do? Do you need to expand to new sales channels? Do you need to think about something different? What is your pricing? What is your pricing strategy? Your revenue, your profit, your forecast. And then from all the suggestions we had and the strategies we looked at during the growth strategies for offense and defense, pick out your top growth recommendations. Look at your market conditions, look at your strategy, look at your opportunities, recommend your top growth opportunities. Make those recommendations and then drive those through with your market development and sales teams. So I will state that this kind of growth planning, this disciplined growth planning, is a product management best practice, and it's got strong potential upside. So we've got some templates if you would like to help do this. If you would like these templates, you can email us. We'll send them out to you. We're at Evolve Product Management. We do training for product management and product management leaders. We do workshops, we do consulting, we do coaching. So I hope it goes well for you, this growth planning, and let us know if you need some help.